The 2023 NFL season is officially over, the worst Patriots season in over 25 years, but there is one silver lining out of it, and it's that the New England Patriots have officially clinched, I guess, the number 3 overall pick come April in that 2024 NFL draft. A lot of draft conversations were being had over the past month of where New England would fall, which potential quarterback they would be able to draft, or wide receiver in Marvin Harrison Jr. But at least we know that the Patriots will be picking third and have a chance to either take Marvin Harrison Jr., Drake Maye, or Caleb Williams. At least as of now, who knows if anything happens via trade. But this is why you subscribe to the channel, because we will have the best Patriots offseason coverage you could possibly find on the YouTube streets. Subscribe today, whether it be myself, Nick Rohloff, or Harrison Graham. We'll have you covered when it comes to Belichick, free agency, trade rumors, and specifically the NFL draft. So make sure you join the channel and are alongside the ride as we go into the 2024 offseason to try to make the playoffs next year, because I do think that is possible. So here is the current NFL draft order and the locked-in order for the top 10 at least. The Bears had that number 1 pick thanks to Carolina. The Commanders got spanked by the Cowboys, so they stuck at number 2, and you never won the strength of schedule battle because the Falcons lost to the Saints. The New England Patriots hold strong at number 3 with the loss to the Jets today, and then the Cardinals lost, but the strength of schedule difference was so far, they're at 4. Then Chargers 5, Giants 6, Titans 7, Falcons 8, Bears 9, and Jets, who we just lost to, round out the top 10. And it's key. I kind of mentioned it off the top, that New England finished with the top 3 selection. I mentioned it on the couple videos prior to this game heading into the weekend, that a top 3 selection was the most important thing going into Week 18. To launch this franchise and organization back to a spot where they could potentially compete in the postseason. And not just compete for the postseason, but actually compete in the postseason. A top 3 pick was absolutely necessary. Who knows what's going to happen with Bill Belichick? We'll talk about that on the second half of this video, but specifically talking about the draft. Obviously, the top 2 things that I want are Drake Maye or Caleb Williams, the 2 top QBs in this class out of North Carolina and USC respectively. The question is, what will the Bears do? A lot of indications it felt like they were going to keep Justin Fields and trade out at number 1. But they kind of got spanked by the Packers today. Eberflus and Justin Fields didn't look great. Could they reset? And if they reset, well, maybe now they aren't going to trade out at number 1 and they go Caleb Williams. And then Washington just follows suit at quarterback and they take Drake Maye. And then at 3, you're sitting in no man's land. You have to decide between taking the best wide receiver prospect coming out of the draft, maybe since Julio Jones and Kelvin Johnson, or do you reach a little bit and take Jayden Daniels to try to find your franchise quarterback? Early, at least my thoughts are you take the generational wide receiver in that scenario, but hell, maybe if the Bears elect to trade back, right? They elect to keep Justin Fields. The Commanders are heavily interested in keeping Caleb Williams in his hometown, which is Washington, D.C. Maybe the Commanders jump up to number 1. They take Williams. The Bears stay put at 2, keep Fields, and then they draft Marvin Harrison Jr. and Drake Maye falls into your lap at number 3. Either way, it is going to be a wild ride from now until April, which also, by the way, free agency is sandwiched in between then and now, so that will pretty much indicate and dictate where New England goes at the top of the draft, because hell, maybe they address wide receiver and quarterback in free agency and trade moves prior to the draft, and then you go a different way in that top 3 selection. And that is why it's going to be such a massive offseason for New England, right? There's a million things they need to do. The defense is set, but they need offensive line help. They need wide receiver help for sure, and they need a new quarterback as well. So there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be addressed this offseason. But I want you guys to let me know if the Patriots hold firm at pick number 3 and the draft was tomorrow. It's not, but what if it was? Who would you want at pick number 3? Not who they will select. Who would you personally want? You could say Caleb Williams because, hell, maybe it is possible. Never know. Maybe he slides and Drake Maye goes ahead of him, and so does Marvin Harrison Jr. You never know. Let me know who you want the Patriots to take at pick number 3. We'll talk more about Bill Belichick's potential final game in Foxborough in just a bit, but Prize Picks is sponsoring today's video, and you should check them out because they are the #1 daily fantasy sports platform and app in North America, in my opinion, and you can get a first deposit match up to $100 when you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS. I know the NFL regular season is pretty much over, but there's still playoffs, there's NBA every day, there's NHL, and MLB is shockingly just around the corner. There is a college football game still to go tomorrow evening. Washington versus Michigan. Keep your eye out on Rome Odunze and Michael Penix, as those two are going to be people maybe the Patriots have their eyes on come April. And I'm taking the more than on Penix passing yards at 300.5. I'm also taking the more than on Odunze's touchdowns. He's an absolute stud. I'll take the less than on Blake Corum's rushing yards, because how often do you see a 100-yard rusher in the College Football National Championship game? And I'll take the more than on McCarthy, because he's going to have to throw a little bit more with Penix slinging that pill. You could take my picks, you could fade my picks, but join me at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS. That link is in the description and comments of today's video. Rapper Meek Mill plays Prize Picks. Comedian Andrew Schultz plays Prize Picks. You should too. It makes watching sports so much fun. I do want to transition in the second half of this video away from the draft talk, because there's going to be a lot of time for that. But we do got to talk about Bill Belichick, because this could very well have been the final time he coached a game for the New England Patriots. And I'm not going to say in Foxborough, because, hell, maybe he comes back as head coach, but at least for the Patriots. And before we talk about the rumors surrounding Belichick, if it is his final time in New England as the coach for the Patriots, I just want to say thank you to Bill Belichick. 20-plus seasons, 6 Super Bowls. I think he's the greatest coach of all time, without a doubt. And even though the end of this potential era with Belichick wasn't pretty, last 2 seasons were rough, man. They were. And I think moving on from Belichick could absolutely be the right decision, because I don't know if he can really build a roster as the GM. I'd love to keep him as head coach and bring in a real GM to make all the personnel decisions, but I don't know if Belichick's about that life. And if it does end up being a mutual parting of ways between him and Kraft, and Belichick is coaching somewhere else next season, I do want to say thank you. Spam your BBs down in the comment section for Belichick, the best coach to ever do it, the best coach that will ever do it. And I don't want the last 2 seasons to be overshadowing the greatness that Bill Belichick provided for us. So thank you, Bill Belichick. That's my final 2 words on him. But there will be a lot of rumors surrounding Bill Belichick. Him and Kraft are going to meet tomorrow to discuss the future of the Patriots organization, the future of Bill Belichick. There's going to be a lot of reports flying out. You saw reports from Diana Rossini today about teams that are already interested in Bill Belichick. You also see some pro football talk. Mike Florio talk about teams that are interested. The truth of the matter is, no one knows what will actually happen with Bill Belichick outside of Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick. So that's why you subscribe to the channel, because when those rumors come out and when the news finally happens, whether it means he's returning as head coach and GM, just head coach, or he's being traded somewhere else, we will cover it better than anyone else. So join us here at Patriots Today, youtube.com/Patriots Today. I'm Nick Rohloff. Long time to go. Off season ahead of us. Lock us in. Go Patriots. And that will do it for the 2023 NFL season, which probably is a good thing. We're on to 2024.